Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day. On Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day. On Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day. On Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day. On Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken.
Système ya Bamenda. Paul Kapunda, président Benjamin Mouteba. Jean-Sébastien Massiala, Jacques Banza Moujiga, Joka Kabengele.
Sistema We are no fools on the heat. My people are no fools on the heat. You must let my people go, so we can rule from Cape to Cairo. You must free my people's sons, so we can rule our purpose land. I wanna know who owns the land. Who wanna know who owns the land? Okay, now listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So, Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know who owns the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I say, we want to know who owns the land. I want to know who owns the land. Aslan. Hey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ABS Africa Broadcasting Service, coming to you as usual from the great state of Texas, precisely here in Houston. It's always a privilege to come to you with updates on the Amazonian struggle for independence, something that we have been undertaking for the past 5 years and counting. Wow, can you imagine? It is over 5 years, almost going to 6 years. In fact, October will make it 6 years, ladies and gentlemen, that we have been in this crusade to free our homeland and free our people from the bondage, from the slavery of French Cameroon. And we will never stop it. We will never end it. And I can vouch for myself, not stopping it until we have conquered, taken over homeland, that which duly belongs to all of us Amazonians. It's not been a smooth road. It's been a very thorny road, ladies and gentlemen. But the good thing is that We are still there. We are still walking the walk. Many have fallen by the roadside, but the overwhelming majority of us, including you, you are still fully in it. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for tuning in from ground zero, from ground one, from all of Africa, from the United States, from Asia, Europe, the United Kingdom, everywhere where you may be across the globe. It's always a privilege to come to you. As usual, please, may you quickly go ahead and hit your share button. Let us quickly populate this platform. I can see that the numbers have been jumping over 500, heading up to 600 already. But please, I want to see 1K on my screen before I bring to you this presentation proper. It is going to be very, very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Only 2 days ago, I came to you presenting the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia taking over from the impeached and removed President, Dr. Samuel Ekomesako. Unfortunately, I am coming today to withdraw that announcement, ladies and gentlemen. But not to worry, not to worry. Again, nobody said it was going to be easy. If you thought this was going to be easy, you made a fatal mistake. We are going into the sixth year of this struggle. And some people have gone for 10 years, some went 15, some went 20. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not see an end inside yet. What we see is a free and independent Ambazonia. That we see. How far inside, we don't see yet. But again, we see a free and independent Ambazonia, ladies and gentlemen. So please, we shall never give up. We shall never, ever cower, chicken out to La République du Cameroon and the distractors and surrogates out there. For as long as I am concerned, we will stand in and walk the walk and persevere until our flag is permanently erected in Boya, ladies and gentlemen. So again, once more, thank you for tuning in. Go ahead, if you are just joining, hit that share button. Hit that share button, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I could see some of you who are tuning in. Let me see those of you joining in. I haven't done this for a while. Let me see those of you who are joining in and give you some heads up as you do so. Please go ahead, you hit your share button. Go ahead and hit your share button. I'm bringing you a number of things today. I will be talking about the killings in Bamenda last night of the owner of Mawa Hotel. The owner of Mawa Hotel. I'm going to be talking about that. There is also an audio message that is circulating out there from Samuel Ekomesako, wanting all of you out there to believe that, ladies and gentlemen, February has been a historic worst month in the history of this struggle. I agree with him, and I will tell you why. But above all, I also will be talking about the resignation of Dr. Tita Emmanuel from being President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And after that, I will open the phone lines and take your calls. Please go ahead and you hit your share button. In the meantime, let me see those of you who are tuning in. Let's get the 1K before I come to you with this message. These messages, ladies and gentlemen. Desmond Fuanjo, good to see you. Mambo Pena, see you, say hello. Secretary Chris. I'd like to see those who are joining this broadcast on the social media from Ground Zero. Cynthia Williams, Yes, always here. I see you. AJ, succeed, always here. Also, Triple Nelly, always here too. Says Sako is a dangerous, I missed that. Thank you. Mome Danga, yes sir. Peter Francis Adufa, total liberation. The total liberation of Ambazonia is non-negotiable, he says. Thank you. Please hit your share button. While I come in with this presentation. Young G Dollar, thank you for joining. I see also Blaze Tanye. Yes, sir. Thank you. Asong Abraham, we are behind the anchor man, he says. Thank you, sir. Sarah White, we must be free, she says. Jolie Jojo, always here. I see also Beck White Marcus. Anchorman is alive. Thank you, sir. Alive and not live. Charles Folifa. Hello, Secretary Chris. We are with you, he says. Thank you, sir. Nara Prima. Oh, I missed what he wrote there. I see also Tamofo. Mary. Thank you for joining. All of you, do me the favor, hit your share button. I want to see 1K in the next 3 minutes. 1K. Let's make it up to 1K. It's almost 700. Those of you joining, hit the share button, ladies and gentlemen, and let's make this Facebook grow quickly. Over 700 now. Hit that share button. I see Princess Pamela. For me, I'm always here also. Thank you. Dora. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Franklin Taibe, I see you. Nzale. Clovis. Yes, sir. I see Titia. I don't have good eyes, ladies and gentlemen. I can't read all of this. The wordings are tiny. So I see also Ojonga Bong, something like that. Michelle, yes sir, yes ma'am. I don't know as a man or a woman, but I see you. Thank you for joining. Anyeawa, yes. Mac Power. Sako is confused. He says. Sarah White mentioned you. I see also here. Chintu Alain, welcome, man of fire, he writes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That's how far I can go with this. Nicole Madiba is always here. He says, I smell freedom. Beautiful, yes, ma'am. We all smell freedom. Prince Renee, thank you, sir. Exodus DX Tenjam, I see you. Great one, sir. He says, Rita Inji. I say, hello, our Ambazonia Lion. Thank you, ma'am. Nicholas Alea, I see you too. Okay. Then I see Alota, or is it Aloka? Prosper. Okay. Garrett, or is it? Yeah, I think this is Garrett May. Amber something, he writes. Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are less than 250 to go, and I keep seeing the numbers jumping. Please go ahead, keep on hitting your share button until I see 1K on my screen. I can see, I can read, I can see what is going on the social media, so I can read the numbers. So go ahead and do that quickly, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a very, very eventful week, beginning last week with the nomination and election of Dr. Emmanuel Tita Nji, becoming the third president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. However, that is the shortest reign, I mean, of a president that I have seen in Ambazonia. I hope those of you who write history are taking notes. That we had the shortest president in Amazonian history for less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours, we had a president in Amazonia who resigned. I see many people out there in the social media expressing so much indignation, anger, bitterness, and I can only say to you, ladies and gentlemen, I think it happened just on time. It happened just on time. It is better he handed to us than get shaken out when confronted by traitors in La République du Cameroon, and he sells out to them. He did the right thing, though very, very in the very wrong mood. I'm gonna be getting into that. So go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and hit your share button. Go ahead, hit your share button. Now, while you continue to hit your share button, I'd like to come to you. I'll take a short break.
Has your bank turned you down for a business loan? Even if you have low, bad, or no credit, our network of lenders are willing to grant you a business loan. It is guaranteed. Money to start a new business, increase your business capital, or refinance a current business. Funding Capital Grid is your answer. We've got you when your bank rejects you. We will offer you from $10,000 to $100 million in secured and unsecured loans. We will clean your credit within the shortest possible time. We also finance all property types: multifamily, office, retail, owner-occupied, self-storage, hotels, industrial, and medical. We will also finance equipment like tow trucks, office furniture, dump trucks, cargo trucks, and Caterpillars. Contact us now at Office 800-966-1193. Mobile 443-760-5059. Fax 202-521-3950. Email info@fundingcapitalgrid.com. Web www.fundingcapitalgrid.com.
All right, thank you for staying put, ladies and gentlemen. I come to you, I start this broadcast in a very, very sad note. Very, very sad note. Something very ugly, though not surprising, took place in Bamenda yesterday, right around the Ayaba Hotel vicinity. A young, popular business guy, very much well known in the city of Bamenda, was gunned down with a friend. We are getting conflicting reports as to what actually happened, ladies and gentlemen. But what we know is that the young man called Ibrahim, the owner of the famous Mawa Hotel, in Bamenda, was gunned down around Ayaba Hotel yesterday around 5 p.m. in Bamenda. Again, the narrative is very, very conflicting. We have not laid hold on the accurate report of what exactly transpired. But we are told that the two were caught quarreling. Ibrahim and one other colleague or friend of him, they were caught quarreling. And the army or the police, we really are not yet sure, that was guarding the Bamenda Ayaba Hotel, walked by and shot them in the car to death. Another version of the story says that they were actually in a bar where the fighting began, the quarrel began. And these officers, French Cameroon colonial officers guarding Ayaba Hotel, came by, shot them and killed them. Again, the narrative is not clear yet. But one thing that is clear is that the owner of Mawa Hotel and another colleague of his were shot to death yesterday around 5 p.m. by the police, the colonial police or military in Bamenda, that we can ascertain that. Again, it is important to note the shooting was done by French Cameroon police, ladies and gentlemen. The shooting was done by French Cameroon colonial officers. They are said to have been guarding Ayaba vicinity. They walked to the scene where these two gentlemen were, found them, we are told, quarreling, and they were shot. And again, some sources say they were shot in their car. Another source has said they were shot in a beer parlor in the same vicinity, and yet another source has also said they were actually inside Ayaba Hotel. We have not yet been able to authenticate any of these sources, but what again we can report or confirm is that the proprietor of this hotel that you find on your screen, he was a very popular business young man, enterprising big young man in the city of Bamenda, was shot to death by occupying French Cameroon soldiers in that city. It's a sad thing, another sad day, not just for the people of Bamenda, but for all of us from both zones of Ambazonia, from the southern zone to the northern zone, where French occupying Cameroon military officials continue to shoot our people, kill them with impunity. Now, I've got a statement from here just sent to me a few minutes ago, coming from the colonial official, the colonial governor in Bamenda. I like to read it. I have not read this. It just came to me literally minutes ago while I was live. This is what the governor, the colonial governor of Bamenda has written in regard to the killing of the proprietor of this hotel. The governor writes, at 4:15 p.m. on Tuesday, February 22, 2022, an unfortunate incident happened around Ayaba Hotel in Bamenda, Northwest region, that is his own calling, that led to the death of two persons, Ibrahim Yinju Tala, an economic operator and promoter of Mawa Hotel in Bamenda, and his friend, Che Henry. Two others in their company narrowly escaped. According to preliminary investigations, again, this is coming from the colonial governor in Bamenda. He says, according to preliminary investigations, the two were shot dead by a soldier on duty at Ayaba Hotel. Following a dispute before the unfortunate incident, he says, eyewitnesses testified that the three were drinking together. It is alleged that the soldier and the victims were all acting. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to that. It is alleged that prior to this, the soldier and the victims were all acting under the influence of alcohol. Immediately, the two corpses were ferried by the forces of law and order to the Bamenda Regional Hospital mortuary pending burial. Why the soldier who committed the act was apprehended and is presently under custody, he says. The governor, with an aggrieved heart, extends his sincere condolences to the bereaved families and calls on the peace-loving population of Northwest region to exercise calm and remain law-abiding citizens. Why an in-depth investigation prescribed by hierarchy is ongoing. That is coming again from the colonial governor, ladies and gentlemen, Lele Lafrique in Bamenda. He confirms the story that these two people were in a bar in the vicinity of Ayaba Hotel drinking, and they were shot by a colonial military officer guarding Ayaba Hotel. Now, the colonial governor says the shooter has been apprehended, but who is the shooter? Of course, we do not know. Where is the shooter? We do not know. One thing we know for sure is that, like in many other shootings and killings by French Cameroon terrorist forces in Amazonia, this one too will go free, of course. He will go free because he happened to come from the privileged part of that country. I'm referring to La République du Cameroon. He happens to come from that privileged part of that country. You will never know who shot and killed Ibrahim Tala, ladies and gentlemen, and Che Henry. You will never live to know them. You will never live to know them, and they will never see a day in court. They will never see a day in court. This is one of the reasons we keep on standing our grounds to fight for a country where law will be the order of the day. Not a country where we are ruled by slave masters and our people are slaughtered on the streets with impunity and nothing is ever done. What has happened to the massacres in Ngarebo? They said the killers were apprehended. What happened to them? We know nothing. In fact, Amnesty International and other human rights groups have been asking the same question. What happened to them? But remember, they went to Kumba. Pick up 4 boys, sentence them to death by firing squad for the massacres in Kumba. Massacres which we know were committed again by French Cameroon soldiers. They pick up innocent boys, rush them to trial, and sentence them to death by firing squad. And the people who killed in Bamenda, in Ngarebo, 2 years ago, they are still walking free, ladies and gentlemen. They are still walking the streets of that damn country free. Nothing has happened to them. Nothing has happened to them. Ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the reasons for which, if we think that we can surrender this war, why in the midst of this war, this injustice, they continue to crucify, to massacre our people with impunity, and we think that we can just leave it and walk away? No. We cannot do that. If we do that, Amazonia is finished. The Southern Cameroons is finished. Everything will be done and the name will be changed. You will never hear the word Southern Cameroons talk less about Amazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, you will never hear that again. These things should only continue to be the motivating factors, reasons for which we stand our ground until we get to Boya. All right. Having said that, I take you to another subject, ladies and gentlemen. There is an audio out there that is making the rounds in the social media, and the audio is a message coming from Samuel Ekome Sako. They impeach President, ladies and gentlemen. The audio is coming from him. Now, in that audio, In that audio out there, Sako is crying foul that February happens to be a very bad month in the history of the Ambazonian struggle. Sako says a lot of things have taken place in February. He is indeed very, very correct. So many things, bad things in that matter, have taken place inside the month of February. It was inside the month of February that we saw AFCON, ladies and gentlemen, AFCON taking place in Ambazonia. It was inside the month of February, ladies and gentlemen, that we saw 11 February re-celebrated in our territory. Fellow Ambazonians, we are all aware that for the past 5 years, since we relaunched this phase of our emancipation struggle, we banished 20th May in our territory. We banished 11 February from our territory. We banished mountain race, so-called mountain race, from our territory. We banished French Cameroon organized elections from our territory. We have banished every vestige of La République du Cameroon from our territory for the last 5 years and counting. But inside this February, we have seen mountain race take place. We saw 11 February take place. Above all, we saw AFCON take place. But we also saw a president that we all elected, ladies and gentlemen, take the laws into his hands. He took the laws into his hands and decided to break the interim government, fractionalize it. Now we have two APPs. One, the original APP, and the pseudo-APP that he now presides over. He has divided the counties. You have county chairs who are seated with him and those who say he is a fraud. They will never see eye to eye with him. Ladies and gentlemen, you have two cabinets out there. One cabinet that is in the crypto ring with him, fraudsters with him, and you have others outside who are saying it was a curse to have him, to have Sako as leader of Ambazonia for his fraudulent schemes. Then, ladies and gentlemen, all these are happening inside the month of February. To crown this up, he is impeached by the he is impeached by the Restoration Council. He is impeached by, not just impeached, but impeached and removed by the Restoration Council, ladies and gentlemen. And so he has the guts to come out to warn Ambazonians to believe. Some coup plotters came on in the month of February and wanted to take the last man standing, as he wants people to believe. He wants you to believe he is the last man standing. He may be tried. He is the last corrupt man standing in this administration, in this government of Ambazonia, ladies and gentlemen. He is the last corrupt person standing. We defended him. We stood with him. I, in particular, defended him, stood with him, because I thought this was a harmless gentleman, a harmless pastor who could do us no bad. We all trusted him until our eyes began to get open, realizing exactly the con person, the fraudster that he turns out to be. We have said no. He will be the last fraudster leading this interim government. Ladies and gentlemen, he will be the last one standing leading this interim government. And let me say this. He keeps on addressing himself as president. Fellow Ambazonians, somewhere Ikome Sako has been impeached and removed as president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And we are sending a strong message to every county chair out there still identifying with him, because in a matter of days to come, we will expose what binds all of you together. And anybody who thinks that he can fraternize with Samuel Ekomesako from the National Treasury of Ambazonia with Ambazonia's money, we will expose what binds all of you together. Samuel Ekomesako is no longer the president of Ambazonia. He was impeached and removed, and anything he does is illegal, unconstitutional, unrecognizable, null and void. And going forward, we are taking every action to address it within the international media and the international diplomatic circle. We are addressing it there. We are taking it there. Samuel Sako days are numbered in whatever fraud he is trying to perpetuate right here, right now, in this struggle, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, he was right to say February was a bad month, because all the money he collected from Ambazonians for AFCON, to stop AFCON, nothing happened. And Samuel Ekomesako has not as much as offered a single statement. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a person you call your leader. For those of you still calling him a leader, he has not as much as stepped out to use his ABC to explain to any of you what happened with AFCON. A responsible leader, even when he envisages failure, will step out in the aftermath to say, fellow countrymen, my apologies, I am sorry, we did our best, but our best was not enough, we failed, I promise you we will do better next time. Samuel Sako has not as much as stepped out one time, ladies and gentlemen, to explain to Ambazonians what happened to AFCON. What happened to AFCON? He has not. That's not a responsible leader. But the question that everybody asks is, what happened to the thousands of dollars that Samuel Ekomesako collected from Ambazonians, from the counties, from the drives, to use it to stop AFCON? Ladies and gentlemen, what happened to that money? What happened to the draft for FACO? There is this woman out there in London called Elizabeth, is it Jambori or Jambelele or something like that, whom Sako picked to be the interim chair for FACO. Ladies and gentlemen, I am challenging that lady, Elizabeth Jambelele, to step out and tell Ambazonians, where is FACO's money? Where is FACO's money? We need accounting for those funds. What about 11 February, ladies and gentlemen? Again, in the history of this struggle, 5 years and counting, 11 February, we stopped celebrating 11 February in Ambazonia. We stopped celebrating 20th May. We start entertaining the so-called mountain race. Last week, 11 February took place in Ambazonia. And the person who wants you to believe he is your leader, ladies and gentlemen, has not come out to offer a single statement or an apology for why 11 February was celebrated in Ambazonia. He has not. But Samuel Ekomesako is holding meetings day and night. I mean, literally, days and night. In fact, the work that Samuel Ekomesako has done, ladies and gentlemen, within the past 4 months, overshadows all that he has done for his past 4 years as leader of Ambazonia. Sako is holding meeting now on a daily basis, sometimes 3 or 4 meetings a day. Until I challenge him, ladies and gentlemen, he will not even call for a single cabinet meeting. He won't call for a single cabinet meeting until he was challenged. Cabinet had gone for 3 months without a single meeting. In fact, he wanted to stop cabinet from even having meetings. He just wanted to rule by executive orders. Executive order, that means by decree. By decree. But for the past 4 months, he has worked more than he did for the past 4 years in this struggle. But you would think that in that busyness, he will include an explanation as to what happened to 11 February and what happened to Chan. He has not. He has not. Ambazonians, I ask you, listen to the sound of my voice. Listen to the sound of my voice. You cannot continue to put a dime in the hands of Samuel Ekomesako. If he collected thousands, probably close to $100,000 for FACO and AFCON, and has not as much as given a single accounting as to what happened, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, a dime did not go to the boys on the ground to save Ambazonia of AFCON. A dime did not. The fighters on the ground, they have said they did not receive anything. And he is just coming out every day. Lava Storm 1, Lava Storm 2, Lava Storm. You know, that is what con people do. They come out with big names, high-sounding projects, but you see absolutely nothing. For 4 years, I worked with Samuel Ekomesako. He undertook Lava Storm. He undertook county, what do they call it? County marshals or federal marshals. All these projects, we cannot count, we don't see one that materialized. Yet, hundreds of thousands of dollars went into this. Ladies and gentlemen, if anything, Sako should be doing now, if anything, Ambazonians should be demanding of Sako somewhere, Ekome, it is an audit, accountability for all the funds that went into the national treasury and all the funds that were handed into his hand. Ladies and gentlemen, if this struggle, God forbid, this struggle should go down, somewhere Ekome Sako would owe every Ambazonian an account for what happened with all the money put in his disposal. For 4 years or so, this struggle has raised not less than $3 million. This struggle has raised not less than $3 million. Ladies and gentlemen, what do we have to show for it? What do we have to show for it? We do not have anything to show for it. So please listen to me. When you receive those audios from somewhere, Ekome Sako lamenting out there as the only one who is trying to fight La République du Cameroon, ladies and gentlemen, ask him to go for an audit. We want to know where FACO money went to. We have now also learned he borrowed money from the National Treasury. I will not disclose the details here, but we are also learning that he borrowed cash, ladies and gentlemen, from your National Treasury. I do not understand how anybody put in charge of the Treasury will borrow a dime to any person in that matter. As if the National Treasury is a bank. It is not a bank. And whoever borrowed somewhere Ekome Sako money, Ambazonia's own money, from the National Treasury of Ambazonia, that person will be held to account. Whoever signed that money to him, ladies and gentlemen, that person must be held to account. The National Treasury is not a bank. The National Treasury is there to fund projects for Ambazonia. And if he has the guts to borrow money to a leader who has embezzled almost all of the money in the first place, they will have to explain. And which is the reason why I continue to tell all of you out there, Ambazonians, please, please, hold on to your money. Do not give a dime, not even CID. Not even CID. And if your country or county chairperson is one of those dining with somewhere a Comesako, withhold that draft. Withhold that draft. It should not get into their pockets because they will invest it in Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, they will invest it in Bitcoin. We must resolve. We cannot continue to have leaders who cannot give accounts to the money put at their disposal. They said Chris Anu was running away from an audit. I'm challenging them. I have been there. I want to see them. I want to see Samuel Ekomesako. Get out there, ladies and gentlemen. Get out there. Sit in there for that audit. Tell us what happened to my trip to Boya. Tell us what happened to draft 1, draft 2. Tell us what happened to all the 20%. Tell us what happened to all the president's basket. Tell us what happened to Lava 1, Lava 2, Lava 3, President's Corner, and so on and so forth. What happened to all those funds? And let me also add this. You are being told that some 135,000 passed through Secretary Chris Anu. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. That money alone was supposed to be money for farm tools we were working on. I had no idea how those farm tools were paid for. I didn't touch a dime of what went. In fact, I didn't even know when and how and who did what in paying for those farm tools. But this is what I found out. I found out from those who have knowledge of it that about $80,000 was the amount of money that was paid for that project. Now, Samuel Ekomet Sako and Frank Chinye, the Bitcoin ring merchants, they are out there making up the story that some 135,000 was paid for it. Now, if we are now learning that the actual amount paid for that project was $80,000, it means $55,000 is uncounted for. If somewhere Ekomesako and Frank Chinye says it was 135,000, the Treasury is there to tell us exactly what was paid for that project, then $55,000 is missing. They should come out and explain to Ambazonians what happened to the $55,000. Ladies and gentlemen, crooks. All right, this is very, very important. Fellow Ambazonians, we are about to restructure this interim government. We are about to restructure this interim government. I promise you, I am not leaving this interim government. I am not about to see this interim government destroyed, because if anything at all has happened on ground zero, it is this interim government. We still have fighters on the ground because of this interim government, ladies and gentlemen. And we are about to make sure, this interim government is restructured, and we have even a better organized fighting force on the ground. But you cannot do so with a man you find on your screen. He is dangerous. He is dangerous to this struggle. You cannot do so with him. I say so, ladies and gentlemen. All of you know I defended him. I stood with him until I found out he was a con man. Yes. He goes to Brazil. He goes to Brazil to launch his books. And he tells Ambazonians he's going there for diplomatic mission. He calls all over the place. Gets money from like 2, 3, 4 different 5 groups. And he tells them he is using this money for diplomacy. But the diplomacy is to go there and launch his book. But that is not what I want you to know. You guys have seen the video footage out there. Saku goes into that church and he tells the church he was this big pastor on ground zero. He had so many churches to the extent God told him, when they want you to believe that they are liars, they say God told them. He wouldn't explain to you how God told him. But he said God told him at a point in time to give out those churches. And so he picked his pastors, this one, go and take that church in that town. This one, go and take that church in that town. Go and take that church in this town. This guy he says he was a big pastor with so many churches that were under his control that he created, he founded, and you couldn't afford a house. You had to go for a haunted house. Is he for real, ladies and gentlemen? And you take him to be for real? A man who had so many churches and was giving them out could not afford to pay rent. And he had to go and look for a haunted house. Now you guys have now seen the owner of that house coming out to disprove him. In fact, the owner of that house has said, the house was never haunted. Somewhere Sako lived in that house for 6 years and paid no dime for rent. In fact, he has said at a point in time, he went to the court trying to make documents to transform the house to claim ownership of the house. And that guy will be coming here in the days ahead to testify. Ladies and gentlemen, we thought this guy was God sent. We thought this guy was a man of God. We trusted him. I trusted him until one day, when I said to him, Mr. President, this house is falling. You got to fix it. Irene is messing up this place. She is everywhere, spreading herself. And I said, Mr. President, you got to do something. Chris became the most dangerous person for just asking for simple changes to be made for us to move on and do the right thing, ladies and gentlemen. But that's not the point. A man that I thought was a brother, a pastor, he went behind me, assassinated me. If I ever turned my back on him, I told him exactly what I'm telling you now. He crossed the red line. For him to have known better and went from one cabinet member after the other, assassinating yours truly, telling them that Chris was compromised. Chris was compromised. Chris is compromised for real? When did you know that, sir? How did you know Chris was compromised and you kept him? But I'm saying this to say that is exactly the attitude of a con person. Unfortunately, every stone they try to throw at yours truly refuses to stick. Ambazonians are smarter. But yes, February was a very bad month. You were impeached and removed for the betterment of this struggle and Ambazonia. Fellow Ambazonians, I'm going to come back very shortly to bring you a presentation on the resignation of Dr. Emmanuel Tita. I will be coming back to you right away to bring you that presentation. Please don't touch your remote. I'll be right back.
Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day, on Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day, on Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day, on Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day, on Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day.
All right, thank you for staying put, ladies and gentlemen. At this moment, I will be bringing you this very special presentation on the resignation of Dr. Tita, the resignation of Dr. Emmanuel Tita. Ladies and gentlemen, as the president of the Federal Republic of Amazonia, that resignation took place, as you all know, yesterday. Please, I crave your indulgence. Give me 1 more second to get this right.
On Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day, on Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day, on Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for staying put in there. And again, I bring you I take you to the main subject of this broadcast today, the resignation of Dr. Tita NG. You will all recall that only a few days ago, Dr. Emmanuel Tita NG and Iya Mariante were all elected and appointed to become your new leaders. It didn't take 24 hours until Dr. Tita resigned for reasons, he said, were the lack of evidence for the impeachment of Dr. Samuel Ekomesako, and he has also stated that some of these were pure fabrications and lies from the Restoration Council. But I think he wasn't being honest to himself and to all of you watching out there, which is why I have come to you today with the actual narrative of what transpired, ladies and gentlemen. And I like to bring you that presentation at this moment. It is very, very important that we set this record straight, especially when people are out speaking from both sides of their mouth. It is important that we set the record straight. I titled this, Tita Chickens Out, Fellow Ambazonians. Our own was never meant to be a walk in the park. I'm very sure most of you have realized it by now. By our own, I am referring to our struggle for independence. For the past 4 months, we have been embroiled in a crisis that has ended in the scandalous impeachment and removal of Samuel Ekomesako as president of Ambazonia. Last weekend, the Restoration Council having nominated and picked Dr. Emmanuel Tita, former Secretary of Health and Social Services, to sit in as president for a 4-month transition period. Dr. Tita unswervingly and ecstatically accepted the office and elatedly picked Iya Marianta to serve as his vice president. The process was almost over until the chicken in Dr. Tita manifested. On Saturday, a planning meeting to organize his swearing-in ceremony for Washington, D.C. took place. The oath-taking needed to be done soonest so as to move on from the chaos created by Samuel Ekomesako and to refocus on ground zero and the struggle. The weekend was convenient because nobody would have to miss official work or engagement to fly to Washington, D.C. for the ceremony. But it wasn't going to take up to a day after the planning meeting for Tita to begin to manifest signs of cowardice and retreat. Upon arrival in D.C., the person who picked him up at the airport noticed that he wouldn't talk, not very much. The lion had suddenly turned into a mumu of a sort. For almost 6 minutes, Tita just wouldn't say a thing. When finally he opened up, his words were, and I quote, "I have been under severe attacks for the last 5 days. Sako's people are coming after me viciously, and my family is killing me. I am confused," Tita said. Sako, we learned, had actually called for a meeting of his Florida surrogates for Sunday, in which they will strategize how to destroy the reputation of Dr. Tita. Dr. Tita had been a member of it. But once he left Sako, some members already began threatening him with some leakage of him in a compromised setting that would tarnish his home and maybe tarnish his marriage. As Tita sat there in D.C. waiting for the oath ceremony to start, phone calls upon phone calls started flowing in, some of which he would pick and some he rejected. Each call appeared to have mounted more pressure on him and increasing the uncomfortable looks on his face. And then he began to cave in, first suggesting that the swearing-in be postponed for a full week, and secondly, intimating that he had not asked permission from his wife and family and daughter before accepting the nomination. He said he didn't know Sako was going to unleash such level of attacks on him and his family. These shenanigans made the day uncomfortably really long in countless efforts by those present to speak sense to him and to get him refocused. When he finally took the oath, it was clear that it was a different Tita taking the oath, not the jubilant and enthusiastic Dr. Tita who had accepted the nomination. When on Tuesday he circulated a resignation letter, it was therefore no surprise to those who had encountered him in Washington, D.C. The only surprise here are the reasons he states in his letter of resignation, which are quite contrary to those he gave in Washington, D.C. In D.C., he was categorical that his family and the attacks being launched against him by Sako and his surrogates were the problem. His resignation letter doesn't say so, at least not in any way easily observable. In the resignation letter, he resorts to indicting the Restoration Council, questioning them on the veracity of the evidence with which they impeached Sako, and at one point, he summarily states that the impeachment was done out of sheer hatred for Sako. He writes, and I quote, "I have some alarming discoveries which have caused me to reconsider my judgment today. My conscience," Tita writes, "will not allow me to continue in what I consider an enterprise of hate that has the propensity to destroy our struggle for a free homeland." End of quote. Tita continues, and I quote again, "I discover after close observation and investigation that most of what Chairman Kominta and his group, he writes, based their so-called impeachment on were innuendos and fabrications. I was not given a single credible proof," Tita writes. "And from the integrity of my heart," he says, "I have decided that I won't be part of a project founded on lies," he wrote. Ladies and gentlemen, if anything is fabrication, it is what you read from Dr. Tita. If he was so interested in knowing the evidence, how could he be demanding for it only after his nomination and election? Where was his due diligence before the election process if he was that concerned about the facts of the impeachment? And by the way, who gave him the evidence? If he wants anyone to believe, he has them. Let him put it out there, ladies and gentlemen. If he is not just being dishonest, he should publish such evidence as given to him by anyone. That is, if indeed anyone actually gave him anything. It is one thing to chicken out of a responsibility like this on account of threats and attacks. But it is a whole different thing to bow out based on lies and innuendos that Dr. Tita makes. Dr. Tita isn't telling the whole truth. He would be doing service for himself and his reputation if he just came out to say his life and that of his marriage and family came under severe threat from Sako and his surrogates. It would make a lot of sense because there are actually reasons for which Sako's surrogates won't spare him even after the resignation. When Dr. Tita talks about hatred and impeachment lies, he forgets just so soon, ladies and gentlemen, that some of the information provided for the prosecution and impeachment of Samuel Okomesako actually came from him. He has forgotten that he provided us with some of the bank receipts identifying some bank account in Nigeria with which Sako and Don Wannabe did business. He has forgotten that he provided some of us with the names of Sako's invested companies or businesses. How could the Restoration Council be lying when he, Dr. Tita, directly forwarded some of the evidence? Ladies and gentlemen, Ambazonians should forgive Dr. Tita, however. Turning this thing over to us early enough was really a blessing. It is better he turn it back to us than turn it to Larapapli to come around in this chicken mind. This struggle isn't for the chicken-hearted or faint-hearted. It is not for amateurs either. It is for grown-ups. It is for those who are prepared to be. It is for those who are prepared to be peddled. It is for those who are prepared to be peddled with all kinds of innuendos, insults, including the kitchen sink. It is for those who are ready to call the bluff of every sellout, detractors, and surrogate to stand strong against all odds. This struggle is for those who are prepared to sacrifice all, including family, to save Ambazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership demands much more than dressing, sweet talking, and high-sounding articulations. Leadership requires guts. It requires principles. It requires brilliance, courage, fortitude, and tenacity. Above all, it requires an unswerving personality in spite of any form of pressure. These are the qualities we should be looking out for in any Ambazonia's leader. We all thought that Tita Emmanuel and Sako had these qualities until we were proven wrong. Sako came across as a little harmless angel, but before we knew it, he was sneaking behind us and under the table and making deals that have now brought the struggle to a halt. When he went out to sell his books, he told us that he was going for diplomacy, collected money from multiple groups for one trip, faked diplomacy trip, and swallowed all of it. He sneaked into business deals with CDC agents and turned around and denied he has never carried out any discussion with any CDC agent. Thousands of dollars have gotten into his hands, private hands, money given by generous and goodwill Ambazonians in support of procurement for our field marshals on the ground. Sako pocketed all of the money, while the fighters run in the bushes with Chang shoes. $80,000 is paid out for farm tools in West Africa. Sako gets Frank Chenye, his Bitcoin merchant, to testify. The record stating that some $135,000 was spent. Those who were privy to the transactions have stated that only $80,000 was spent for that deal. Where did $55,000 go to, ladies and gentlemen? They want people to believe that that was spent. Well, this isn't the moment I am going to delve into this data. But I thought Ambazonians should get to know the fraudster. The fraudster we have held in high esteem as a God-sent leader. We must be very careful, very, very careful, not to dabble into another leader as Samuel Ekomesako. Tita's case leaves us in a better place because he only chickened out. He didn't sell us. We will have no regrets about his resignation. But Sako's loot and damage will take a long time to repair. But repair we must. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few days, a new leader for the interim government will be announced in a few days. We want Ambazonians to know our struggle remains very much in course. The Restoration Council, as I come to you right now, is meeting to finalize the selection of the leader. It is very possible that as early as tomorrow, Thursday, during the APP, that a new leader may be announced. Ambazonians are blessed with young and passionate people endowed with such leadership skills, ready to serve the struggle. One of them will soon be unveiled. You can trust that we will all rally behind that leader who emerges. Nothing is going to deter us or derail the struggle. The resolve is high here, ladies and gentlemen, and we encourage every one of you on ground zero to remain steadfast. If you give up now on ground zero, if you surrender, you may never have the opportunity to see your sons and your daughters, your brothers and your sisters, your parents returning home to you. We are in this together. La République du Cameroon is nursing some false hope right now. I tell them not to celebrate it because it won't last for long. Our restoration forces are still very resolved, and we are going to empower them in the days ahead to continue the devastation they have meted on La République du Cameroon institutions and the army. We have no choice until we have gotten rid of La République du Cameroon interest in our territory. Stand firm and don't forget, nothing good comes easily. But come, ladies and gentlemen, it must come. It must come. And that was my monologue to you, ladies and gentlemen, on the resignation of Dr. Emmanuel Tita from the scene, having been made president of Ambazonia. Now, for your information, Marianta is still standing in. Again, as I come to you, the Restoration Council is meeting now. I was supposed to be there, but because of these broadcasts, I couldn't make it there. But again, as I come to you, the Restoration Council is meeting right now, and I am believing by this time tomorrow, we would have known who becomes the next president of Ambazonia after they impeach and remove Samuel Ekomesako and they resign Dr. Emmanuel Tita. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special piece of audio I'd like to bring to you now. Now, listen to me. I have just stated to you that Dr. Tita is being dishonest when he says he saw the evidence of the impeachment and they were all lies and fabrications and done out of hatred. Fellow Ambazonians, I believe Dr. Tita is listening to me. He actually provided us with some of the evidence that we took out to you on Samuel the fraud being perpetrated by Samuel Ekomesako. I'd like you to stay put for a few minutes. Please listen to this audio. Listen to this piece of audio. Listen.
So much pain.
Oh, you saw the information, eh?
No, I mean, the Restoration Council has the information. They were talking to me, they gave me all the information. I'm like, this is really painful. You know, I mean, it was so pain. I mean, like Dr. Sako, even I remember, Ghana asked me one time that, oh, when did you really give up on Sako? I said, when the AFCON game was happening, it was supposed to happen in Victoria, and he called me that, oh, we need to stop the AFCON game. I gave him $1,000. That was in January. I'm still trying to remember, it was January 2021 or January 20. Yes, I gave him $1,000, and he went and collected money from Europe and collected money from everywhere.
Yes.
And he came back and messaged me and said, oh, you know, when I found out that he collected money from other places, he came back and said, oh, that money that you gave, I just had to use it for something else. And he has been for a long time. I said, I was so wounded when I found out about all of this information. No. I mean, initially, to be honest with you, when I met Dr. Sako, he was a very honest man.
Yes.
And I thought this guy was for the struggle, for the sake of the struggle. I applauded him for standing bold and fighting for the revolution. But the guy changed completely. He changed completely.
Oh, boy.
Dr. Sako would not even listen to advice from anybody. I mean, even from me, I begged Dr. Sako the whole of December. I was begging him for us to beg Secretary Chris, for us to work together. Dr. Sako would not listen. He would not listen, not at all. Even when he came to come and appoint Barrister Fu, he called me on Saturday that he needs to appoint somebody as a spokesperson because ABC, if not ABC will die. I begged him that, no, I will go and call Secretary Chris, please. And beg Secretary Chris to come back. I called Secretary Chris. Secretary Chris told me that, for him to come back on ABC, he needs a letter of apology. I told him, okay, I will get you that. I told Dr. Sako that. Dr. Sako said, who is going to write it? I said, don't worry, I will call the Deputy Secretary in communication and we will figure this thing out. I called Chief Uben, that was one of the deputy secretaries in ABC, and he told me that, okay, this is the situation. He explained what happened. I said, okay, but we need to write a letter of apology. He said, if Dr. Ngwambe can write that letter of apology, then he doesn't mind signing it. I called Dr. Ngwambe. Dr. Ngwambe accepted that he was going to write it, but he's getting into a Bakun meeting, so that should be done in 3 hours. We should write that. I mean, I tell you, 5 p.m. our time here in Florida. I was there at the mall.
Yes.
With my family. All of a sudden, when we are waiting there by 6 p.m., we'll start writing that letter. All of a sudden, Dr. Sako has put out and communicated that Barrister Fu is now the spokesperson. If I tell you, say, one day I'm in vex, that day I'll be vexed. When I tell you, say, I'm in vex sometime, that day I'll be vexed. So why don't put in so much time so we can't solve this problem? Dr. Sako.
Just twist us on.
Just for the whole thing. No, I said it. I said it in the Restoration Council meeting yesterday that I'm really sorry about all the blackmailing that has gone on with the Vice President and Secretary Chris. It's because Dr. Sako knew that if they were to conduct an election, these are people that will challenge him, and he will not be able to win. He knew that. So for him to protect his interests, he went after them to blackmail them. Dr. Sako really doesn't do anything for the struggle. He's sitting there as the president. What does he do?
I know.
He does not call the board to try to coordinate anything. He does not call the refugee. He has no idea what is happening at the level of the refugees or our boys on the ground. You know.
Oh my brother. Let's rescue our country.
I'm telling you, I said that's what I said. Let me just step in here. My stepping in here is not for us to stay here as a president. We really agree that the president has to come from the southern zone. So let's work together. Let's bring in the structure. So we bring you in as official member. So you go through the vetting of the structure. So you pick up an official position. 4 months later, let him leave. Because I was afraid that if we go and put a president now, and then they become one that they will continue with that their term as Dr. Sako. You know, he will always draw people. Because now I was just talking to Richard at the National Treasury.
Yes.
He was saying, but that means that people are supporting him. But I said, but there's people now they will think twice. I just wrote a message into the HSS.
That's very good. Yes.
Yes. A message to the HSS department, to the forum today, when they want to start blackmailing me.
Yeah.
I told them that the HSS department is under the interim government and not under Dr. Sako. Dr. Sako has been moved as the president.
Exactly.
So that people will be in denial for now, but at some point they will see me. They will come to the realization Dr. Sako is no longer there.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Okay, that was a strategy. I tried to explain it to the vice president and to Bishop John. When they called me that the last time, I think the day that I was supposed to go and do a presentation at Dr. Sako's meeting, because I stopped going there. They sent me an official invitation that I should come to that meeting and come and present HSS, that they already have me on the agenda.
Yes.
And since he has been impeached, but he is not removed, he is not been removed, he's still the president.
Yes.
So let's respect that and play the politics and go and talk there.
Okay.
And went and spoke there very well. I said the strategy because once you come and they vote for somebody, we need to move the moderate. The moderate moves, the people will follow the moderate. The radicals are there to free Homeland. They are the ones that have championed this thing. You guys are the ones that have championed it. But that, they already can't go blackmail the people that have championed this thing to free Homeland as co-plotters.
Yes.
Those are the people that will come now and the middle people, when they start seeing your Tita is shifting. Even though I'm a very radical person, but because for the sake of continuity, I saw that it will be, we will lose it if all of us go radical.
No, that's good. No, that was a good strategy. I applaud that. I applaud that.
I explained it to Bishop John and the vice president before I went into that meeting, and they understood. And Bishop John told me, I remember he said, the problem is that the other people do not understand. This what the explanation I'm giving to them is perfect, but it's that the other people do not understand. Let me tell you that I am so hurt because I was giving Dr. Sako like monthly basis.
I know.
That book that they tell you that the Southern Cameroonian pay for that book.
Yes.
I tell you how much money I gave Dr. Sako for that book. You will not believe it. And then I think Cameroonian pay for it. I did not attest. I did not go to the Restoration Council to confirm or attest to any of those allegations. And when I know that there are so many of them that I can take in my box that this is true, this is true, this is true.
Oh.
But because I knew that it will get to a level where we have to get somebody to transition. Let me not go and show up the who will show up the okay of
Exactly.
This is the biggest blow that he has ever done.
Yes.
When he spoke to Dr. Ella today this morning, Dr. Ella said, I better know if he had known. I think Dr. Ella, he would have listened to that, but so he tells you that this show was the right decision to make. They don't even know how to attack me. They're still looking for ways to come and attack. I'm telling you, and so no, I told my HSS department that I've been appointed with me. I accepted their appointment based on information that I've seen and for the sake of our suffering people. They being here in this position is just going to be for 4 months. And I will return back after the council put together the modalities for election and the calendar election. I will revert back to the humanitarian party. This is what we like to do.
That's great. No, that's
we have to step in right now to rescue for us to solve this situation because these guys have divided the struggle completely and they are ready to. I mean, this is what you know. This is how you know that this guy did not mean well for the revolution. Even if he's seeing the revolution be crumble, he doesn't care.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether after listening from Tita's own mouth, after listening from his own lips, I don't know whether you still believe anything that he wrote in that letter, that resignation letter of his. You can now, after listening, agree that this guy, I don't know how to put it. But he's just chickened out because of this threat. We are told that he had some dealings with some of his friends in Florida in which some recordings were made, and they had threatened him to expose those tapes. He was threatened with the tapes, and he went out, put out a resignation statement, and instead of telling people exactly what went wrong, what happened, he says the Restoration Council made up evidence. The Restoration Council lied. The Restoration Council did this out of hatred. It is pathetic. It is shameful, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I am being joined by the one and only Reverend, that name is going off my mind. Reverend, please, centralize yourself on the screen. Centralize yourself on the screen. Apostle Chan, yes. Thank you for joining me, sir. Great to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Secretary Chris. And salutations to ABS viewers on Ground Zero and here in diaspora.
So tell me, quite a lot of people are watching out there. Millions are watching on Ground Zero, and I see on Facebook went up to 1,400 people, which was really good. I see 1,000, over 1,003 now. Now, after listening to those audios from Dr. Tita, do you believe him for a moment when he says that he had to resign because he realized that the evidence presented out there by the Restoration Council for impeachment were mere fabrications? Do you believe that narrative? Does it make sense to you?
How can I believe this? It is the same Dr. Tita, President-elect, who said that he has a Herculean task of taking out the dictator in the person of Dr. Sako Samuel. He said this, not in private. So when he comes around to begin to, evade the threats that he has gone through, his own evidences are those that betray him. You listen to him, those who listen as you're listening from Ground Zero, you know that the Restoration Council is just doing the right thing to save our revolution, our liberation struggle. And the same slogan was used by Dr. Emmanuel Titanji to ascend to the post of president-elect. That he was coming in to join hands because he has discovered that this man has no good for the struggle. He has no heart to fight for the liberation of Ambazonia. These are the wordings. And so why does he come out? Why does Dr. Tita come out now to write something else? He just forgot. But like you said, Secretary Chris, it is a new dawn. Ambazonians, this is a new dawn. You heard it from the horse's mouth. You have no reason believing any other trash that Dr. Tita has written out there, explaining that he found some lies. He's the one who, like you said, furnished most of the evidences, very convincing evidences against Dr. Sako. And there is no hate in this. Hello? You are muted. You are muted. There is no hate in the work that the Restoration Council is doing to save the revolution. I think
now he says that he was given the evidence that the Restoration Council used in the impeaching Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako, which is again a total fabrication because the Restoration Council is still in the midst of investigation. In fact, I understand they are interviewing people at the Treasury. I think they did so today, and it will probably continue tomorrow. So how could the Restoration Council even let anything out for Dr. Tita to come out and say he saw the evidence, he was given the evidence, they were all fabrications?
that's the good question. Every other person who wants to believe Dr. Tita now must ask him what prompted him to go for the position of a transitional president. What prompted him? What did he use as his parameters?
Yeah.
The veracity of that which is going on now, he has first-hand information. He has very many other people who have left because he left, and those people are not ready to follow him back into the mess.
Correct. What do you think is the future for Dr. Tita now?
Dr. Tita,
because he has really been very useful, we know that,
yes,
at the Health and Social Services Department. He did a great job there, taking care of our refugees. in Nigeria, Sako in his illegal government has now replaced him, and now he is not here. And the funniest thing is that he will not speak to any one of us. I tried reaching him yesterday. He responded to me since we returned, the first time since returning from D.C. In fact, you will imagine that if he had spoken with me on Monday when I came live introducing his inauguration, I couldn't have done so, but he didn't. He would not pick anybody's phone call, and we thought everything was okay. But until yesterday, he put out his letter. I tried reaching out to me. He responded to me. But what do you see to be his fate right now?
Yeah, the young man, I have very good compliments for him. He had done a lot for, our liberation cause, for the refugees, and supporting the presidency. He has never been a liability. Dr. Tita Emmanuel has never been a liability in this liberation quest, but he has gotten himself into a mess, and his political future is bleak. In fact, he just landed himself in a ditch by, gunning for after doing a good job, building a good political career that will propel him to any position of leadership in future. He has just dampened his future by thinking that betraying the cause of a rapid return to motherland will give him confidence on the part of Dr. Sako. Dr. Sako knows that he made mention of him during his last speech, because if he would not give those compliments, he will risk a lot. If this Dr. Tita thinks that he has paved a way for a better political future, he is deceiving himself. If he has been promised the juicy position, that if he could crumble our interim government, the lone interim government and the lone legitimate restoration council of the people of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, they are all deceived. Just like you said, he didn't pick my calls, he didn't respond to my messages, yet he is trying to gain praises back and think that he'll be given the welcome, the red carpet welcome that was given to the prodigal son. Everybody is taking him with a pinch of salt. Even the pastors who nicknamed him the Absalom of the Ambazonian revolution. Absalom, biblically speaking, is the son of King David, who ascended to the position of a king against the father's wish, following the counsel of Ahithophel. I think Dr. Tita has taken his hands to destroy his own future, political future. Let him do well to stay, but we thank God for letting this happen, because he would have surely handed the Federal Republic of Ambazonia into the waiting hands of the Republic of Cameroon.
Now, as you can imagine, Sako guys are out there celebrating and salivating for Tita's resignation, as if he is the guy who was going to make it and stop the chaos on his side. You think that is going to change Ambazonians' minds at all as to who they consider Sako to be?
Not at all. Not at all. It is believed that many people, like us, colleague pastors, were into a clique with Dr. Sako to spoil this revolution. But some of us have simply been following him based on the nomenclature of the clergyman, the ontology of the profession. But we discovered that testimonies upon testimonies are coming. Way back in 2018, somebody came out warning that if you don't vet this person, you are bringing a con man into, the restoration quest.
Oh, when
and
was
you
that?
will regret. 2018.
Okay.
And he brought a lot of revelation which resonates with what the man of the house, bedroom house, just corroborated. If people had listened, and that's if the candidacy of Dr. Sako didn't carry the title of pastor, I think people would have taken that with a pinch of salt. But they just went in, say a man of God will surely fear God. He will surely receive the blessings of the Lord to deliver the people. And so when the hands were extended to us, we followed in that line. But it is sad, there are many people who are excommunicated from their church or church denominations, based on some doctrinal issues or others. But his own case was based on embezzlement or misappropriation of church funds. I'm not the one fabricating this. He has never come out anywhere to disclaim this. And the person who should have helped him out is my senior colleague, Reverend Pastor Commando Ivor.
Yeah, that is
But
it's
yet
very
they went
unfortunate
to
when you
Brazil.
mention the Reverend Commando, the Reverend Victor with the hypocrisy. You see them manifesting out there, very shameful of men of God to be out there standing behind what they know. I will call it immorality of the first order for a person considered a pastor doing what Sako is doing out there with Amazonian people's lives. And these pastors, Commando and Victor, they are out there pretending as if, no, they're all fabrications too.
If they were fabrications, where those churches? The Reverend Commando should have known. The Reverend Commando was right. In the same denomination in that Nigerian pastor's church.
Reverend Commando was sitting in that church in Brazil when Sako stood in front of him, lying to the congregation that he had so many churches on ground zero that he had to, the Lord, told him to give them out to his sons. And he gave them out, he passed them out there, but he could not pay his own rents until he had to look for a haunted house. Commando was sitting in his face, and he said nothing.
Yes. And Secretary Chris, he didn't only mention churches that he handed out, he also said he handed out Bible schools. Right there.
Okay, I didn't get that one. How
he
can a
said
man
it. I'm not the one
handing out Bible schools?
Because he heard this, and then he said, my son, you take this church, my other son, take the other church in that place, and then you take the Bible school, and you do. These are things that a reverend pastor said, and so he had to give out his churches and stay in a haunted house, and the same pastor is alleged to have gone to a printing press trying to buy fake receipts to impress the court and litigation, that he bought books from the press and the owner of the house has destroyed those books.
Right. The owner of the house, the owner of the house, or at least the agent, the guy who you saw in the video, has told me they went to court. Sako had gone to court trying to make documents to claim the house because the owner of the house had died. The caretaker was very old and flown to the U.S. for treatment. And Sako felt like nobody is coming for the house and started doing documentation to change the house into his name. He started restructuring the house into a church and a school and a living home. He was living there, he was doing church in there, was doing school in there, until this caretaker, this young man who have the audio, the video out, showed up and said, why are you changing the structures of the building? And you are not allowed to do that. So he took him to court, and the court evicted him. Even when he was evicted, he did not leave. He did not leave. So what this guy did, they went and bought hundreds of bags of cement, came and deposited it at the center of that house for some construction to be done. It was then Sako thought that the only way to deal with these guys was to go down to Down Beach, where you have Cosmos book publishers, get some fabricated receipts to the tune of, is it 3 million or 3.5 million, to the effect that those men deposited in this property destroy school books worth 3.5 million. And Cosmos said, no, we cannot issue you those kind of receipts. You never bought any books here. That was how you finally left that property. But he is the one out there preaching in the crowd, telling the crowd he passed out his churches. In fact, the landlord, the caretaker, had said there were only about 3 women with their children who were worshiping there. The school was just made up of a few kids who were coming around. So I don't know how he expects people to believe him in anything he does and say with this kind of background that is now coming up. And let me tell you, you cannot imagine how many messages, testimonies I have received from people on ground zero in Victoria, Tico, who says they were duped of their money by Sako in one credit union that was created by Deeper Life, and I think they said he was in charge of it. They came up one day and the credit union was shut down and people's money gone, just like that.
Yeah, it is sad that we have come this way. And if we have come this way, it is not because we are digressing from the topic of Dr. Tita. Dr. Tita also testified in some quarters that he financed the books in question that Reverend Dr. Sako Samuel Ikome went to sell in Brazil. And Dr. Tita
and there's a guy in London who is known to have financed the entire project, the entire book project, right? There's a guy in London who paid, I think, $4,000 to finance the entire project because he was told by Sako that these books will be sold and the money will be used to sponsor the struggle. And this guy coughed out $4,000. It will surprise you. Not only Tita paid money for those books, not only the guy in London paid money for it, you will realize that he must have collected at least $15,000 to $20,000 from different people just for the printing of those books. And those books did not cost him, in fact, I spoke with the publisher, those books did not cost Sako $3,000.
And how do you want fellow Amazonians to believe and keep following and say God ordained a struggle for people to be dying, sleeping in the bushes, having nothing to eat, cannot do their regular businesses, for a pastor to come and sit there and be receiving monies, receiving help under pretext that he is selling the books and funding the revolution with? And you also want me, as a head of diplomatic mission for Latin America, we're talking about how many countries altogether, to sit there and see funds raised for Foreign Affairs Department, and the same president pastor, goes and takes that money and doesn't release any for diplomatic reasons, for diplomatic missions. And we will sit there, and this is punishable under penal code. This is appropriation of public funds. This is, if you loan it, you can't loan monies that were meant for liberation of people in ground zero. I mean, you don't even have to keep those monies in the treasury. How do we propagate a revolution in such a way under the leadership of a pastor, and you want us to go and be hand clappers there so that they bundle us up together and say, oh, you people, you're sharing in this. We're not there for that. Let Ambazonians refocus. Remember that there's one interim government of the people of the Federal Republic of Cameroon, of Ambazonia, and that interim government stays, and the president of that interim government has been impeached and removed from office because of treasonous charges that have been labeled against him, which he cannot escape from. Reason why we are struggling to refocus and to put confidence back on ground zero. You will be liberated. It is a new dawn for the Ambazonian struggle. The diplomatic strides will redouble steam. Defense will redouble steam as you continue to follow the truth. Don't make any error of following the sodios while the originals are there. This is what I will have to say. And don't take every other pastor as the carbon copy of Reverend Pastor Samuel Ikome Sako. No.
Reverend Chang, you have been very much in the middle of this struggle since I have known you. And at this moment, we know the stress that people on ground zero they go through with all that is coming from the diaspora, especially what Samuel Ikome Sako is doing. What will be the message you pass to our brothers, our sisters, our parents, everybody who is waiting patiently for the freedom of Ambazonia at this moment of chaos?
I will tell them to hold their calm, to not buy into the lies and the blackmail. The campaign of calumny that has been unleashed against the Secretary of State for Communications, Pastor Christopher Anu. Don't buy into those lies. Don't buy into the lies that Tita Emmanuel, the doctor, is now putting, that there is hatred. Don't buy into the lies that there is some coup plotting that started last year or year before last to oust Dr. Sako. Dr. Sako knows that nobody programs a coup d'etat and brings the roadmap of his coup to the person he wants to overthrow. I mean, Ambazonians, you can't continue. You have to speak out to Reverend Dr. Sako. Don't allow it for Secretary Chris to be the one to speak out. He has already done a lot to salvage our restoration struggle. We are paying the price for this revolution in different ways. We do not want to ignore what monies have gone into the struggle because people heard that there's a pastor at the helm of it. That alone caused people to give without fear. So now, the Lord uses people. He enthrones and dethrones. The purposes of God Most High cannot be thwarted. The plans for God for Ambazonia are still intact. We will receive our liberation, come shine, come rain. Just know that this is a new dawn. What would have ended at the counseling room is now spilled out in the public by the president, who has to keep state secrets. And Secretary Chris Anu only came out in reaction to some of those things, and that is his right, as well as it is the right of Dr. Sako to have come out to debunk what he said about the haunted house back there in Limbe, and what the family members came out and did to bring, to evict him from the house that he claims in Brazil, that he gave places out and it was given to him. So, but Ambazonians, calm down. Your leader is on course. Those that the Lord is putting, if they don't fit into the mold, they'll be ejected out, and those that fit into the mold will bring the last. If you can see the example of the Lord dealing with the children of Israel from Egypt to the promised land. Nobody knew where Moses was leading them to. Moses was not leading them to the desert. Moses was told by God that I have heard the cry of my people, I've seen their misery in the house of bondage, and I have decided to come down so that you go and take my people from that land of slavery to a land that is flowing with milk and honey. So if Moses did this and God had to take out Moses and bring in a Joshua, let us leave revelations and mysteries to the hands of pastors that God spoke to him that he will do this. God has decided that your mandate is over. Somebody else is going to take this mandate. If you want to continue, you can renew your candidacy and contest. And God will back you if you believe that you are an everlasting president for Ambazonia. Don't you follow the way. The Republic of Cameroon is not completely bad, but there are bad things that we are refusing from them. And that dictatorship attitude and characteristics, we are not going to accept them, especially when they are coming from a pastor who is supposed to tell the people that God used a donkey when they were human beings. And God also lift a prophet and use Samuel, who was a houseboy. God denied to speak to the prophet he used to speak to, and went and speak to the Samuel, and Samuel did not know that this is the voice of God. He will run and go, Prophet Eli, you called me? And he said, no, my son, 3 times. And then when the son came back, the prophet knew that the mantle had left him, that God is no longer talking with him. God is talking with a little child. What did that prophet do? He didn't say, no, I've been prophet. Either God talks to me or nothing happens. The prophet gave him the secret. Go now. When you hear that voice again, my son, tell him that, Lord, here am I willing to do your will. And that is how the mantle fell on Samuel to become the next prophet. Why will President Samuel, not receive the sounding of the voice of God that has either evaded him, or some young prophets are in the making, some young leaders are in the making by God's choice, by God's divine counsel and sovereignty, because this is a God-ordained revolution. God is supreme here, not Dr. Sako. Dr. Sako, yes, one government, yes, one interim government, but different faces that God will use to bring the liberation. Let us bow to the will of God and see ourselves in Boya sooner than later. Let us not continue to divide camps. Let's not continue to buy into that campaign of calumny, blackmailing, smearing people. Somebody differs in opinion. Like I said, Secretary Chris, if somebody wants to make a coup d'etat, who is that buffoon that takes his script, his master plan of a coup, and present it to the person he wants to overthrow?
But not
This is
every
Secretary
coup is
Chris
a bad
here.
coup in a way. Don't you realize that?
But yeah, we are not going to accept that thing that they were saying. If it were a coup d'etat and then you presented your scripts to him, it means that you have betrayed your plan. So they would have had ample time to have aborted the coup and not allowed the coup to go on until so many months while you were in office. Till today, they come and tell people and name people coup plotters. You think when you stigmatize people with the name coup plotters, we should just accept because we want to accept everything? We will not accept that dictatorship. It was not a coup. It was a way to rescue the thing, because you saw the handwriting on the wall. And you gave the thing. The interpreters were supposed to interpret. The pastors were supposed to advise him, colleague pastors. And if he didn't know what that meant, he would have called in the clergy, the council of clergy. What are we doing about this? Not the council of clergy struggling to get in, and then they're shutting us out. And then today they turn and tag us. It pains me because they're telling us that we have received money from La République du Cameroon. And this is why I have left ABC and I'm coming to ABS.
It is funny. It is funny. Isn't it funny that every time somebody disagrees with them, and I think Ambazonians should take note of this. Every time you disagree with them, you differ with them, you have collected money. You have taken money. Did you hear them saying Tita just collected money?
Of course.
So now that Tita is back, I don't know whether he's back with them, but now that he is back, I don't know what happened to the money. So I think ambassadors should be very smart. All these labels out there,
they will not say that it is their prayer.
Yeah.
They will not say that it is their prayer and the tears of Dr. Pastor Mba that have brought him back. So
okay, listen, Reverend Chang, let's take a quick 1 minute break, and when we come back, please, I'm opening the phone lines. We take your calls. I really love to hear from you. Please don't touch your remote. Gonna be back in 1 minute. Stay tuned.
Has your bank turned you down for a business loan? Even if you have low, bad, or no credit, our network of lenders are willing to grant you a business loan. It is guaranteed. Money to start a new business, increase your business capital, or refinance a current business. Funding Capital Grid is your answer. We've got you when your bank rejects you. We will offer you from $10,000 to $100 million in secured and unsecured loans. We will clean your credit within the shortest possible time. We also finance all property types: multifamily, office, retail, owner-occupied, self-storage, hotels, industrial, and medical. We will also finance equipment like tow trucks, office furniture, dump trucks, cargo trucks, and Caterpillars. Contact us now at Office 800-966-1193. Mobile 443-760-5059. Fax 202-521-3950. Email info@fundingcapitalgrid.com. Web www.fundingcapitalgrid.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, going to open the phone lines at this moment. For those of you on Ground Zero who want to join the conversation, those of you in the diaspora who want to join the conversation, we'll get the phone lines open for you. But before you call, please make sure that the volume of your television set is shut down. Make sure the volume of your television set is shut down before you call. The line is open right now. Go ahead and call, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, the lines are open. Go ahead and make your call. All right, let's get to the first caller. This is calling from Ground Zero. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm calling from Momo County.
Okay, thanks for the call, sir. And what is going on? Are you in Momo County right now?
Yes, I'm in Momo County on Ground Zero.
Wonderful. What is going on there, sir?
We are just watching and looking at what is happening. Quite surprising to us because we thought that all of us are into this struggle with the purpose of liberating homeland. Unfortunately, it is now we are realizing there are some people with very devilish motives. And it is so surprising that pastors who would have been the light example, people who will be focused, determined and courageous to do the right thing and not turning on the people. We on Ground Zero are resilient. We know the truth. ABS has remained the channel that is informing us. And we are strategizing and waiting for what the Restoration Council will do in collaboration with the APP to bring to us our leader, for us so that we can begin to focus and look at how things are going. Ground Zero is cool. Things are just going the way they are going because so many people are like being discouraged because what we're expecting is not happening. But we are hopeful. We are waiting. People should not fail us. We hope people will not fail us. We are very, very strong. We're hoping that after a few days from now, our hope should be revitalized, our spirit, and the struggle should be revamped. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, let me assure you that we will do everything that we can to make sure that a leader that represents the aspirations of every Ambazonian is picked up to continue right where we stopped. Okay, so you guys, Ground Zero, remain strong, remain resilient, courageous. I just ask myself, if we give up today, I'm telling you, you will never see some of us on Ground Zero because you know the obvious. And some of us are your brothers, are your sisters, are your fathers, and your mothers. So we got to the point where I call this a trial. I don't call it a trial that destroys this struggle. We will pick it up and run with it, and it will get better. God bless you for the call. Okay, let us get to the next caller here. Hello. 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 Well, if you call, you have to pick the phone, sir. If you call, you got to pick the phone. Let's get to Ground Zero again. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
From Bamenda. From Bamenda.
Okay, all right. How was Bamenda today?
Bamenda is fine. Bamenda was fine. Bamenda is fine, no problem.
Okay, what is your contribution?
Yeah, my contribution, I just want to say that what has happened to Dr. Tita should tell Ambazonians how dangerous, desperate, and demonic Sako and his clique are.
Yes.
Personally, I do not blame the doctor personally because he was acting as someone who was acting as somebody at a gunpoint. You see, so the fact that he accepted to be president in the first place shows that he has the heart for the revolution. But this only shows what happened. It only shows the danger that Dr. Sako constituted to this election, to this revolution. But so Chris, we have trust. We believe in what you guys are doing. Like you said, nobody said it was going to be a walk in the park. We believe in what you are doing. There will be this gang of criminals will be overcome, and my message to them is that they should brace up. They should brace up for confrontation with Ground Zero because it is unbelievable that after losing more than 30,000 people, Amazonians, all over 500 villages, these people will consider themselves into a cabal to drain funds that are raised for the prosecution of this war and the redemption of Amazonia. We would treat them far worse than francophones. Yeah, so Dr. Sako, I know, in fact, it is an error to call him Dr. Sako or Reverend Sako. Jesus Christ says, by their fruit you shall know them. So that's not a reverend, that's a criminal, that's a con man. So Dr. Sako, Mr. Sako, please continue to fight the people of Amazonia. Continue to mount the reason why we are coming for you one way or the other. Yes, you are.
All right.
It will be boundless. Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Again,
with you guys, no problem.
Thank you. Again, you guys remain steadfast on the ground. Things will get back to where they should be really, really soon. Thank you for the call and good evening. Okay, let's get to this German guy. Let's see. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from? Germany?
Yeah, I'm calling from Germany, sir.
Okay, what is your contribution, sir?
Sir, after listening to your monologue and the audio of Dr. Tita, I want to tell you that I am somehow speechless. But nonetheless, I will say something. First of all, I want to thank you for the job you are doing for Ambazonians. I want to thank the Restoration Council for being resilient. And I want to thank your panelists who is there with you, all his analysts, they are wonderful. Dr. Tita, he himself knows where he has placed his reputation. And I am thinking that what is needed at this moment, the constitution should be respected. That lady, Iya Marietta, we will be very surprised what she can do for this revolution. Ambazonians are waiting for her to take the mantle, and people will see the tremendous support she will have. I know her to an extent. I've seen her works in Europe, and I think she can do wonderful things for Ambazonia. Let us take it as a challenge. Give her that mantle, and we'll see the surprise. That is all I have to say. Secretary, please, we count on you so much. We count on you so much. We cannot measure the rate at which we count on you. Don't fail us. Keep being consistent, and we are praying for you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. God bless. Okay, let's see where the next caller is calling from. Hello. 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 Again, when you make your call, you got to stay by the phone, sir. Let's get to ground zero. Hello.
Hello, Secretary, please.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I am calling from Meme country.
That is K-Town. Okay, sir. Thanks for the call. And what is in your mind, sir?
Yes, I want to appreciate you and the Reverend so much for the great work that you people are doing. And I say, Reverend Chang, greetings to you.
Thank you.
Hello?
Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go
Yes.
on, please.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, I'm also talking as a pastor. Please, even when you see what Dr. Tita has just done, it is very grateful, because when even they are struggling to blackmail him or even put pressure on him, he resigned. Why should a pastor like Sako not resign when those allegations were coming to him?
That's a very good
He's really
question. That's a very smart
if
question.
he was really maybe following the struggle. Now, again, I'm talking as a pastor, as a man of God. If I know that I am in this ministry and they are bringing allegation to me and I have nothing that I'm gaining from it, I'm doing the will of God, I can resign and ask God, where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? Rather than, again, hanging there and talking that, all those things are false and this and that. So please, let him be very careful. The anger of God will fall over him. And I know some of you have been advising him. Let him be very careful and take your advice. And for me, I am just pleading that let Dr. Sako go to God in repentance and allow the fight in the hands of God and support the next leader that is coming. Like the other person has just said, I'm just supporting that. When we see what Iya Marietta has been doing in Europe, she has been doing great work. And I want us to pray that if maybe the Restoration Council want to even maybe elect a new president, please, we are now afraid of Americans. Let them go over now to Europe and see somebody that may be coming from Europe. But I wish that maybe let this lady be given the opportunity, or the Restoration Council can do the work for these 4 months. I'm even preferring that let the Restoration Council do the work for these 4 months and maybe come out with somebody. For me, we are praying for the struggle. And again, God has never failed, and God will not fail us. He has, ordained this struggle. Like the children of Israel, they suffer in Egypt.
for over 430 years. And the time came that God told them that the time has reached, and they went through. No matter whatsoever, we are the Israelites of our days, and our God will see us through. Secretary Chris, go on, please. These days we are not seeing you and we are afraid. Please never betray us. And again, Reverend Cham, we are behind you people, and we are praying. We are in ground zero. God is with us, and God will continue to be with us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. God bless.
Thank
Stay
you.
strong.
Okay. Secretary Chris, why you pick
let's
another
get
call?
to the next caller
Secretary
here.
Chris?
I think this is Germany. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello. Good evening, sir, from Germany. Am I correct?
Yeah, very correct, from Leverkusen, Germany.
Okay.
Hi, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I will thank you for the job that you are doing. Secretary Chris, I want you to take you down to memory lane. You remember the last town meeting we had when Dr. Tita was already appointed or voted? I asked a question. I asked the Restoration Council that Dr. Tita should personally introduce himself and present his manifesto, because I did not find it good that people should be talking on his behalf if he is present. If he was present during that meeting, he would have come forward, present himself, that's really introduce himself to the people, and present his manifesto. Then, secondly, I tell you, they shut me down by saying that that guy, he would give him a representation of himself and his manifesto during the inauguration. Then come the question, why was this in the inauguration in secrecy carried on? What about the Amazonian people? Why didn't they put it on?
No, let me correct that assumption. The inauguration was not carried out in secrecy. It was carried out in the open. People were actually invited to be there. You must have seen the images that are presented here last Monday. People were there, but it was done in a rush because if we didn't do it that weekend, then it would have to wait till the next weekend. That is why we thought, hey, Ambazonians don't have to keep waiting. Let's use the weekend, do it quickly, and get over with it. And it picks up during the week and continue with the business. So no, yes, it was rushed. It was rushly done, but it wasn't done in any intent to hide it from people, because people were actually invited there.
So just to add,
why wasn't it done on your TV or on AFT TV?
It was for technical reasons. It wasn't done in Texas, and you know I was myself over there. So, but these are not things that we should be again explaining in the public. Just know that everything was done right. The way it should be done. The last time Sako was inaugurated, I think we had more crowd in this inauguration than his own, if you should see the footages and the pictures, and it was done at the same time also.
Okay, yes. Secretary Chris, did this guy give any inauguration speech that when he was inaugurated or after his inauguration?
He actually did, after.
Yeah, and then why is the speech not? Why didn't you people present the speech to the Amazonian people to hear from him what he said during his inauguration?
You will recall that on Monday I promised playing it on Tuesday. I promised coming back live on Tuesday with the whole inauguration. Yeah. Tuesday I didn't come because of his letter, right? So what was the need going to play it when essentially it doesn't exist? I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it will give another atmosphere when the Amazonian people hear from him what he said during his inauguration.
Yeah, at this moment, it doesn't even make any sense to go running it when we know that it is essentially not there. The inauguration is essentially not there.
Because his letter of resignation is saying a different thing. That's what I'm saying. His inauguration speech should be brought to counter the letter that he wrote.
No, that he is not denying that he was inaugurated, isn't it? He is saying, giving different reasons for his resignation, which have nothing to do with his inauguration. So even he will play what he said on the inauguration. I mean, he will play it. It will surprise you. He spoke like a lion who would devour La Republic to Cameroon.
Exactly. That is for that reason that I would have liked you people to put it on the air so the Amazonian people should hear to debunk him.
No, we don't need to really debunk it. We just need to correct the facts, because nothing he says in his letter is contradicts. All what he says in this letter doesn't contradict the inauguration. What he says contradicts the reasons for which he says he's not taking the responsibility. I don't know whether that makes sense. Listen,
it makes sense. Yeah.
His resignation is not because of the inauguration per his own letter. So, if we have to disprove him in anything, we have to prove that his resignation is because of pressure, attacks on him, and blackmail, according to him, on his family.
True. I'm not disputing that fact because the audio. I'm not disputing that fact because the audio that you played actually disproved him seriously. It puts his character on doubt.
Correct.
He's really a doubtful character. That one we are not discussing. Anyway, but Secretary Chris, I'm very, very happy to have expressed my mind to you, and I like your patience in answering all the questions that I've posed. You are a very good guy. Thank you, Secretary Chris, and good night.
All right, thank you, sir. You have a great night. Okay, let's see who else is here. This is Ground Zero. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
From Kumba Meme.
K-Town. All right, and what is in your mind, sir?
Okay, first I want to appreciate you for everything you're doing. From the way you're talking and from all evidence we've seen, we realize your heart for the struggle is real, and you're a very straight and honest person. From the way you talk and the frustration seen in your voice, you really trusted this Sako of a guy. And we all see the frustration that you've been really betrayed by this guy. You believed in him and you trusted him with love.
Yes.
That one pushed you not to even do you even overlook a lot of things. You discover him so late that you trusted him that you didn't even go further to search a lot of things about him just because you just believed, probably because he was a man of God and stuff like that. However, we appreciate you for coming out and doing all these things. But I have a message. Now we have to move forward. And the first thing we have to do is, like, since Tita came out and he's also a past story, I just want to let Sako know, let Sako know that and every surrogate, people like Kimia, Shu, and all of them, we are on ground zero. We know all of them.
Good.
And we see everybody that's trying to destroy this revolution. If Sako was given money, my trip to Boya, he did whatever he did with it, we don't know. Recently we had, there was AFCON, he collected money, story came up. He collected money for 11 February, story came up. Recently we had another, this man Cameroon, story came up.
Yes.
Now, all this money, like you rightly said, almost 3 million, all this money.
More than 3 million, but it should be over $4 million. Those are hundreds of thousands and hundreds of millions in CFA francs.
Exactly. What really gets us very angry on ground zero here is that we still see people like Kemita Ashu, other people going around propagating that this man is a saint. Now we have a message for them. Everyone taking the side of Sako. We are on ground zero. He's sending messages to all our boys down here that they should listen to him. We've told our boys down here that when you send them money, let them just eat it anyway. It's their money. You will never have control of any army or any boys like that. Whoever send money, when Sako call you and say this money you have to list, collect the money and eat it.
Yes. It's their money. It's a Bazonian money. It's not his money.
We've told our boys that if you call anybody that you want to be blah 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 blah, say okay, he send the money, you eat it. You are not accountable for the money. It's your money anyway. Now, what I'm saying is all these surrogates from the account LG that are still going with Sako. To be honest with you, Sector Chris, on this ground zero, it will be hard for them. Let them repent and turn away from their ways, because we are not foolish. It will be hard for them. Probably most of them will not even stick their leg on ground zero when that time comes, because we have lost people and people are still dying here. Right. Every day we see people dying. So anyone trying to take side with Sako, this should go out like a message. Ground zero, we are not stupid. We know what's going on. And we know the amount of money diaspora have contributed for this thing. And the money is eaten by Sako and is surrogate. That many people will go online, will see them sending things. I don't know whether he's paying them money to do all these things or whatever, but those names, we have them and we talk about them. Majority of them will put their name, put their leg. People like Kemita Ashu and all those, we see them every day and they won't put their leg on this ground. So we are waiting for them. Actually, thank you very much for every work you're doing. Reverend, thank you so much for coming out and putting things straight as a real man of God and being honest with the revolution. We know our brothers out there will still contribute a lot of money to this. I will get these things right. We'll make a mistake, but we'll come back strong. However, let's all Amazonia, let's come together. It's a sad day, it's a sad thing, but we can't give up. We've been in this thing for more than 5 years. We've lost people, lost our life, lost a lot of things. We can't give up on that turning around, because if we give up now, we don't even know where we are going. It's just like we've given the rope to these French people to just hang us and kill all of us. That's what is going to happen. So we can't turn around. So we just have to learn and carry on.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. All right. Okay, this person writes, it says, great job. This is from Ground Zero. Great job, Secretary Chris. I don't really feel comfortable to air my voice on TV, but I want to let you know that a resignation letter from Dr. Tita was not his personal voice. He was given words to write. Irene Ngwa is my big auntie from same house in Guzang, but she's a devil. I now believe what my pa, Honorable Le Ndam, was saying about this woman. Okay, that is from, this is somebody with number ending with 444. All right, sir, thank you for your message. Thank you for your message. Another one. He says, vote Atianjo as new president, Secretary Chris. Make a fundraiser to send people to what? And if possible, to send people to ABC, and if possible, take Sako to court. When they shut up, that's when any president can be safe. Tita's resignation was written by Sako, not only making him fear, but putting him in the side of the Sako, not knowing the testimonies he formally put against Sako. We are not foolish to hate Tita, because his crime would be twice that of Sako, and that of Sako in court now. We should pin Sako immediately and take away ABC. So the Chris, make a fundraiser. All right, that is coming from somebody on Ground Zero. Let me take this caller from Ground Zero. Hello.
Good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening. Can you put your phone? Can you put your phone in your ear, in your mouth, please? It's like you are far away from it.
No, I did. You hear me now fine?
You are still far from the phone. Is still far from your mouth.
Okay.
That is better.
Okay. I said, good evening, Reverend Chang. Thank you for that clarification. Let me talk for Pigeon.
Thank you.
I want to ask Secretary Chris. Yeah, you be there from the since when the revolution started, you be there from the beginning, Secretary Chris. You don't save the one, save this one. Why you, Secretary Chris, for me you get what it takes for me, the new president of Ambassador. Why you never just make you president and then take the thing go ahead so that you complete the destruction of SACO as you don't start them. You don't simple, it don't be simple. So leave that thing where you talk say now you don't start school, now you don't close school. That one is on talk. What you don't talk about SACO be clear, evident. Yes, clear. What do you don't happen for Dr. Tita? Just take over the mantle. Go ahead, Dr. Chris. Just take over the mantle. It will go fine. The thing will go fine. And then there's a complication there. You know that's in a complication. Take the mantle. You get the support locally, internationally. People they believe in you. You don't be the face of the revolution. That Francophone terrorists and then that name Secretary Chris na terror for them. You get the organizing ability. Now you expose this gang of criminals. Just take the thing, we'll complete the destruction, then we'll go ahead. complete the journey for the shop.
You make it very tempting, you know that, right? Now I've been reading on the screen here somebody on Facebook desperately asking, typing out in capital letters, Secretary Chris, why can't you just take it and be president of Ambazonia? Somebody has been writing that on the screen here. I read that. But comrades, listen. I don't think this is the moment. I think I am really comfortable doing what I am doing here. It is helping the struggle a lot. I think that somebody else can do it, and I will stay here and do exactly what I am doing. It tantamounts to another hand tying the bundle.
See a scenario like this. You are president. Somebody like Nanchop takes your position. That thing will work very well. It will work out very well. You are president, telling president. Someone like Nanchop becomes communication secretary. It will work very well. Anyway.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for your suggestion. It sounds good in my ears, but until we get there, you have a great night.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Let me see. Who else is here? Okay, let's get this caller. I guess this is coming from Gabon. Hello. Hello, good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Gabon.
Please turn down the volume of your TV.
No, the volume is down.
There's an echo that I can hear in your background. I'm repeating myself in your background.
No, I'm on the TV.
Okay, what is your contribution, sir?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for the good job where you done for Ambazonia. We really be happy for last week. You know, when they come on, so we know we are happy. We just want to thank you. Yes. With the China way, you don't put fire. We don't put fire for so the meeting all thing they try to come back fine. So that means you can the full Ambazonia say all things they fine, all things they fine. Maybe they expose all things, any bad thing, maybe they expose them. So that Ambazonia will also say the day with you and they come.
Caller is muted. He muted himself, I guess, accidentally. Let's get to somebody else. Ground zero. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
Thank you. Good evening, Secretary Chris. I'm calling from
Mesam County.
Wonderful. What is in your mind, sir?
I want to start by appreciating you for the wonderful work that you are doing for the Amazonian. And I want to say that there is one thing I want to really say with it. The audacity at which you speak when it comes to issues on ground zero, like the murder of these young guys yesterday. You don't speak it with that ferocity. You don't speak it with like you used to do before. You know, when you used to speak before, you speak with every audacity, and your voice comes out like thunder. And it is frightening and it's threatening. But now, when you want to speak about ground zero, you speak soberly, and that it doesn't really move us, and it does not really trigger our spirit. That's just one thing I wish to say, and for every other thing, I want to appreciate you, and I want to let you know that Ground Zero stands with you and the interim government, and we are waiting on the Restoration Council to come out with a new leader. The last caller that just called and was saying that you can take over the mantle of leadership of the president. I think at times that can really be the truth, because you might be running from it when you are the best person to handle that. So maybe you have to give a consideration to that too. Or maybe during the elections in 4 months' time, we will put you as one of the candidates, and then we'll do a voting. Without that, I want to also appreciate the man of God, Pastor Chan. My regards to everybody there.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Don't be worried. My voice is still there. You will hear it sometime when you don't have enough information. There is only much you can say. You have a great night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Okay, let's see. Who is this? This must be China, I guess. Hello, sir.
Good evening, Chris. And how are you?
I am doing excellent. Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Meme.
You're calling from Meme. I see, I think this should be an Asian number. 86 is Asia, right? China.
Of course, but the person talking to you now is talking to you from Meme.
Okay, thank you. What is your contribution, sir?
Yes, the question I want to ask to you is that when are you also planning to resign from the struggle? Next is to the young pastor I see there. We all know your idea has been for pastors, and now you speak like the saint Sako was. I'm sure you're
no,
not
if you hold on there, if you say we speak like the same Sako, then you are listening to the wrong television set. You have a great night, sir. Okay, let me see what somebody. Hello, Secretary Chris. What bothers me most is if Sako is going to get away with all the money he has stolen and all the damage he has caused. You guys are in America and the law is fully respected. Sako needs judicial apprehension to recover ABC and all the money he's stolen. It's a slap in Amazonians' eyes that he still uses the very ABC to cause so much damage. All right, so we hear you. Let's take this caller here. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Quays.
Hello, good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Texas.
All right, sir. What is your contribution?
Yes, I want to suggest that caller where he talks say make you try for consider for be our new president. I think it's a fine idea because we really like may you take that mantle. You continue with the struggle. Then somebody like Pa Johnson, Phoebe vice president, or maybe one new secretary for our television.
Realize Pa Johnson still get a good chunk of La République in him.
Oh, never know, but I mean, if you don't see him, so then there's no need for him to be vice president.
If you leave La Republic, come for America, it don't be America now. They go 3 years, but a lot of La Republic still there inside here. I know I talk so because naive fool Sako no step down in spite of all the pressure, in spite of the fact that his term was over, and what he simply needed to do was to tell Ambazonians, I'm a good leader. Because I'm a good leader, I will stand election so that you can prove that indeed I am a good leader. But John Frunso wrote a letter telling the Restoration Council that he has to be there until Boya. And then when that failed, he got the counties to start sending motions of support to the head of state. All right.
Well, Secretary Chris, God bless you for being so faithful to our struggle. I pray may God give you guys power and to continue carrying on the mantle. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Good night. Okay, I have let me get this caller here. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling in from, please? You are live on ABS.
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Okay, where on Ground Zero? I think the audience want to know.
Precisely from Tuba.
All right, thank you. What is your contribution, sir?
I don't have much to say, Secretary Chris. I just want you to, I don't know if Barrister Fru Johnson is listening to me. If he is watching ABS at this time, tell Barrister Fru Johnson that we on Ground Zero, we are still waiting for him to come out and announce the final amount that you embezzled after the auditing. Because it's more than 2 months we learned that Secretary Chris was audited. But then Barrister Fru Johnson has never come out to announce the final amount that you embezzled.
Yeah.
He was so quick to come out on ABC and said Secretary Chris has embezzled $100,000 war draft money for 2020. If not, where has Secretary Chris gotten monies to operate ABS? As if operating a TV station is something so abstract that somebody who has been a media professional cannot do. Where has Nangchop taken monies to? Where has Nangchop taken monies from to operate a TV station? Barrister Fru Johnson was quick to come out and say Secretary Chris has embezzled $100,000. Tell Barrister that we are still waiting on him to come out and state the final amount that Secretary Chris embezzled after the auditing. He has disappeared. He has gone mute. He's nowhere to be found. Is he angry because Dr. Sako did not make him the chief of the Judiciary Council and Barrister Mbingse was appointed?
Well, maybe you know a little something about that, because I see him fighting with Mbese over who takes what judicial assignments. But listen, Barrister John, I think, again, this guy left La Republic, and La Republic just didn't leave him, because I just can't believe for once that somebody who should be an elder in our midst would so much want to destroy this struggle by standing behind a leader who has embezzled almost everything put in at his disposal. And Barrister Frunso thinks that he should just remain there till eternity in Boya. The good thing is that he seems to have transitioned out. I don't hear him anymore. I heard him making an audio the other day. He doesn't want to show his face on TV anymore, I guess. But I bet you, you are not the only one seeing him. Before you called, the last caller was talking about him. He is in a very bad place right now. I don't know whether he can even go back to Ground Zero.
Secretary Chris, I don't imagine how a senior barrister like that one, a senior barrister who would have sat behind and then advised those who are leading the revolution. He had involved himself in a lot of blackmailing, I don't understand. The whole place is flooded with insults. You have Ochiba Nelson, you have Kemita Ashu, you have Rosalind Lem. They are throwing insults everywhere. Do they think it is by insulting people that will make people that will make people believe in them?
I hope they're listening to callers like you and to know that none of the insults have inflicted any of us with any wound. Nothing. That is why I keep coming back here, just being myself in doing what I know how to do best. And until they bring the caterpillar, as I say it all the time, I am not moving away from here. I just be here doing what I do it the best way I can. And for as long as I know, I am standing on right ground. Listen. Darkness will never, ever overcome light. And that is why they are fighting with everything within them. They will not succeed. At the end of the day, Sako will be history. He is gradually becoming irrelevant. History. His cabinet members are walking away.
A good builder is seen from the straightness of the walls that he constructs, from the straightness of the pillars that he constructs. It is not by holding tools and brandishing over the quarter that I am a builder. A good builder is seen from the walls that he constructs. Dr. Sako should make actions on ground zero. He is holding town hall meetings. He is holding meetings since November. Meetings upon meetings. Is that how it used to happen in 2020, 2019?
Of course not. All right, sir. Thank you for the call. Let me get one last caller.
Just a reminder, we are still waiting on Magister Fru Johnson to come over the air. He was the first person to announce that you embezzled $100,000. We are still waiting on him to come out and clarify the final amount that you embezzled. It's more than 2 months. Is it that the audit report is not yet out?
Even if the audit report is out, you will not see him. All right, thank you. Have a great night, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will take one last fortunate caller and I call it a night. I think this is Gabon. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, good evening,
Hello,
sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from? From Gabon?
I'm calling from Gabon, sir.
Gabon, all right. What is your contribution, sir?
Okay, sir. I will start by greeting you and your panelist, Pastor Chang. Okay. Sir,
Thank
there
you.
is something. There is this thing I want to tell you. There is this time that I called and I told you, and I also wrote to you that Secretary Chris, you are the chosen one that God has chosen you for this our struggle. But it seems as if you did not even take to my message, not listen to this message.
Are you a prophet, sir? I have only one prophet here. Are you a prophet?
I'm not a prophet, sir. I'm not a prophet.
Okay,
I
all right.
this thing I can say.
Okay, go on.
I wrote you. Okay. So, sir, please, we are pleading, sir. You just need to rule us because you are the president, you are the chosen one. If you can do that for us, even God will lead you through. You will see that everything will be moving well. And please, as the other caller said, Mr. Nanchop and Jacob, please, they can be doing Nanchop can be Secretary for Communications, sir. Please, we are pleading.
All right, sir. Thank you for that trust, sir. God bless you all. I really don't think this is the time. I think I'm doing a better job here, serving Ambazonia. We will push every other leader who can step forward and take care of this. Thank you for the call.
I hope the Restoration Council, I hope they are listening. They are listening right now, please. So they should try and do something because what we are saying, they should put it in consideration, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. Get a great night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will call it a day. I can't take every caller coming in. Let me see if there are some messages. Secretary Chris, what does it take the Restoration Council to table a case against Sako in the U.S. court? We are already overwhelmed with the proofs. We should only be stupid knowing, but keep singing that Sako has stolen, and knowing the cause of law, but refuse to go by the law. All right, want Sako to be sued in U.S. courts. All right. This one, hello, Secretary Chris. I want to thank you very sincerely for the resilient efforts you are tirelessly putting in this struggle, you and your entire family. I also want to appreciate the Reverend Apostle Nchang for standing tenaciously for Ambazonia in her time of acute needs. Please, you people uphold the Constitution and give Iya Marianta, the VP, the constitutional chance to fill the vacancy left by Dr. Tita. Okay, sir, we hear you. We hear you. Any other message? No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Apostle Chang, please give your people the last word before we call it a night.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. Fellow Ambazonians, stay resolute. Remember, we have one oppressor, we have one aggressor, we have one ingrate as a neighbor, and it's the Republic of Cameroon. Unite your efforts so that we flush them out. Remember, we have heard your cry, and if I were to stand and campaign, I will campaign for Secretary Chris to be the president for the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. But the man has shown his selflessness in saving you people there on ground zero, as his family is doing. Point number one. This Secretary Chris is the same person who was first voted as our president. The records are there. Dr. Sako knows. You have never heard Secretary Chris come out on air and say that. But there are others who are saying that he's power mongering, that he just wants to make a coup and overthrow. They cannot tell you. I thought Dr. Sako and others and the local government area and the council chairs, county chairs, owe that to the people of Ambazonia. That this is a sign of leadership, selfless leadership. This man had that mantle. And they turned around and took it and gave it to Sako. And he accepted to save in a different capacity. So you people should take that thing out, give it back to the people who are saying that he's fighting for power, he wants to do this. Again, we have struggled on our own to try to do that. He tried to save the revolution, looking for the fastest way. He has been like your watchdog. And when he saw this and saw this and saw that if we could put this together, we could be able to go to Boya faster. They turned it against him, and he has refused to back down. But I love the confidence you people are demonstrating in him. The other things that I would like to say here that you take is that not everyone who passes for a pastor is a con pastor. We have the fear of the Lord. Well, the Lord took a king, King Nebuchadnezzar, from the presidency to the bush for 7 years. The man crawled on all four. Why? Because he took credit for the Babylonian Empire that God used people to build, to respect his kingship and build. He took credit for himself. And God said, no, until you shall recognize that I, the maker, use different people to build that kingdom for you. He repented at last. So let's be prayerful. Let's be hopeful. But let us put faith into action. Let's deny the falsehood, the blackmail, the smear campaign that is going out against people you know are sacrificing and dying for this cause. Putting your voice out there, putting your face out there. I mean, exposing your family, no hiding place for Secretary Chris as well as for others. Why should they make us to turn against ourselves rather than against the enemy? The enemy is out there. The international community is out there. And you people on ground zero, you are seeing and you are hearing. The Lord is hearing, and the pastors who are fearing God are not only in Amazonia, but God has God-fearing pastors in Amazonia. And will not allow even an innocent person or an ignorant person to be killed when we stand behind and watch. We will not leave prayer, and we are calling on those who have financial support for this cause to go through to know that we feel for you people in ground zero. We will pray with you. We will see how this matter ends faster so people get out of the rains, out of the bushes, and get back home. We are also looking for a unifying factor to bring stakeholders on board. Believe that, I like to say this, pastors were not able to reconcile some other persons, but God used Secretary Chris to reconcile some other persons, and people took offense. So they are mad. They think that somebody who said, I will kill Secretary Chris yesterday, rather than President Paul Biya. If that person is able to reconcile, to repent now and come and say, no, we have to unite and fight the common enemy, then is it a plus for our restoration quest or a minus? If they are saying, okay, he is talking with, what if tomorrow this Secretary Chris in prayer and so on begins to talk with Irene Nwa? Would that be a plus or a minus? And Irene Nwa stands out to repent or so on. So let us give room to God. He's a God of justice. He is light. He doesn't want us to grow up in darkness. So if we bring the things to light so that people can see the things clearly and repent, it is not hate. It's not hate speech. And of course, the Lord disciplines those he loves. Some of the people will receive discipline. In the political domain, like somebody was saying, when we contested for presidential elections, we put in a caution fee and presented a manifesto. The Dr. Tita didn't bring out things like that. He, in his resignation letter, he said one of his reasons to come in was to investigate, to carry out an investigation. Do you hear that? So what does that mean to you? That he was planted as a spy. What was he investigating? He would have investigated that before accepting to run for that office. You don't go, I mean, these are what's in his own letter of resignation. So when he gives the impression that he also came in to investigate, so he trusted nobody, yet he could confide in others the ills of Dr. Sako, some of the things that Dr. Sako does, that he doesn't listen to advice from anyone, and the rest of that. This is why he didn't listen to the advice from Secretary Chris. This is why Dr. Sako didn't listen to advice from. We could be blaming others, who might have tried to give advice to somebody who will not accept. Or we could have had an Ahithophel who is standing by Dr. Sako and giving false counsel to him. And it will drip down like the perfect will of God. God has two things, dear listeners, his perfect will and his permissive will. When we abandon his perfect will and insist on his permissive will, he may permit it for a while. But he has a red line too. So let us be conscious in this God-ordained revolution. It is a struggle that God will use all and sundry. If your contribution is prayer, God is taking note of that. If your contribution is encouraging some people on the ground, God is helping you in that. And if somebody is giving and risking their lives in any way, God might have just been speaking through some of you to Secretary Chris to think well. So with the Restoration Council is the best place to talk to, and our original APP, the Amber Peace Plan. Like we have said, stay positive. Today, tomorrow, you will hear from the people's representative. That is what we are praying, to see that the three organs of the government, the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary, shall function so that there will be free flow of a government, of governance, good governance for that matter. And we shall have a lot to enjoy back home. Don't kill yourselves. Stay focused and encourage others, share with others, tune to ABS and get what the Lord has for you. Tune to AFTV as well. And we have heard your cry about our lone ABC television that this very Secretary Chris walked from crash to build from his own house. The time to give the crown will come, and God will not allow the heroes to go unrecognized, uncrowned in this battle. So do it in your own level. And those pastors who called, pastors, give your numbers to Secretary Chris, connect your numbers with us so that we can continue to, and diehard Christians, so that we can continue to beg for mercy from God, and sooner than later, we will gain ground zero.
All right.
God bless you.
Right. Thank you, Apostle Chan. Thank you for joining me. You have a great night over there, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, fellow Ambazonians, for tuning in for tonight. Before I go, I just like to remind you, we need your support to continue to pay the bills here at ABS. We need your support out there. The website is right there. You get to the website, you can enroll to for monthly contributions. Click on the donation button. If you're watching by way of mobile phone, you click the white three lines on the top right, on the top left of your phone or tablet. Again, you click on the three white lines on the top left of your phone, and you will see the menu will show up. You see the donation button. You can click on that to either enroll for a monthly support or a one-time donation. You can also, if you are using a computer, just click on the donation button on the top right menu, and you can support ABS. We look forward to your support, because that is what is keeping the bills paid and bringing us to you on the weekly basis. We're going to be adding some more programming here in the course of the week. And for those of you who think that I am not here on a daily basis, it is not possible to be here on a daily basis, but others will be showing up on a daily basis with live programming, so that everybody keeps updated with what is going on. in the struggle. Again, the website is there, absafricatv.com. Get to it and support ABS. And if you have a business out there you love to advertise, we'll be glad to advertise your business, promote your business. Write to us. The email is there on your screen, and we'll be more than glad to patronize you. Thank you for tuning in. You have a great night. I look forward to being back here possibly on Friday. Until then, remain strong, and God bless you all. Good night.
Paul Kapunda, président Benjamin Mouteba, Jean-Sébastien Massiala, Jacques Banza Mujinga, Joka Kabengele.
Ikamba ya kamina mokato komi komona tukomi kubanga ya mwene sistema Bamenda nalingi moninga okusote moninga matate
Antopo Pasa Antolo Ngage.
Ikamba ya kamina mokato komi komona tukomi kubanga ya mwene sistema Bamenda nalingi moninga okusote moninga matate
Philippe Kaponda, Olivier Kaponda. Pambona mema pozamba pambona, pasona sala suka se elonga. Nasala mombongo biloko tula tena beta miziki bato basepela.
asusu bakangi kanda
Ikobolosi,
ebubuloki
oyo kindoki te.
akindoki kwele kamina mokato komi komona tukomi kubanga na bakarte moninga lenga sia
Nathan Kazadi,
na bapolitike tuna nde bakwazo
Papi Mousseri,
na mapinga kutu kuna koloba te
Dr Pablo Ngwe,
na balama nzembo ongai naleki ye
Eliane Kazadi, Etienne François Diabanza.
Mokili ebaluki adu elenga yemba tokomi mitema mabe yango tokomi kobomana mwana mosala asomba motuka
atwana ye atomboki
leki asomba lopango
yaya na ye akimani
kaporala asomba sapato
acida na ye atomboki
musicien asala succès
kolonga